Hello everybody. I made so many videos on tour and travel to many of the countries, and many of my friends they said from India that why don't you make a nice video guiding the people who wish to travel from India to Singapore. So today's video will cover all the aspects of traveling from India to Singapore. Most of you who watching this video must have traveled in so many places abroad to so many countries, and they must be aware of many of the things. But today, what I will try to do to cover the things related, especially traveling to Singapore. Singapore is one of the most sought tourist destination in the world because of so many things, so many attractions. It's a small country and tops most of the nations in many aspects, in the richness, its culture, its public life, its the comfort zone to people who live, and at the same time it's the most costly country to live in. So don't be scared about the nature of the cost here, because most of the visitors, they do come here for about a week or 15 days or even less, 5 days, 3 days even. So let's begin from the very first thing. The very first thing, you have to make up your mind that you have to visit Singapore and see that how actually the best of the life can be. Once you have made up your mind, the second thing is that you need a visa to come to Singapore, which you can apply by two ways: through a travel agent or through somebody who can sponsor you. So he can apply for your visa. The visa fees is not too much. It's around $30, and it has been since very long. The fees remains the same for the visitor visa. A visitor visa you can get for from 30 days to 1 year or even up to 2 years, depending upon what you have put in your the details in your visa. But your maximum stay would be for 30 days. When you will enter the airport, the immigration officer will put a chop or will put it on your record that you are here for 30 days. And you have to leave Singapore 30 days, and then you can visit again under the same visa. It may be a multi-visit visa. Second thing is that you have to decide about the flights. The flights from India are from 5 international airports: from Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad and Chennai. From Delhi it's about 5.5 hours the flying time, or even maybe less. And from the other all 4 cities, it is something in between 4 to 4 hours. The flights operating between India to Singapore are, of course, Singapore Airlines, the best and the costliest. And the others are Air India, Indigo, Vistara and also Malaysian Airlines. Malaysian Airlines may have a one stopover at Kuala Lumpur. So you have to choose about the flight from which you wish to fly and to the nearest place from your where you are living. Then the price of the flight, the return fares, they vary from something from 30,000 to 70,000 depending upon which flight you are taking and when you are taking. The earlier you buy a ticket, you can get a cheaper flight. So many times the promos, the day of flying, all things matter. So you have to do a lot of exercise. But you can, if you want, you can find a good return ticket for about 30 to 35,000 for a economy class. So having said about the visa and the ticket, now we tell you something about the immigration rules. And in India, as you know, the crowd and the crowd is so much traveling by air. There are long queues in India, not in other from all the destinations. You may have a very long waiting time in the immigration, in the security checks, and even at the check-in counters. So you have to consider about a very your to reach to the airport quite early, and you have to plan that. The second important requirement globally has become that you should be fully vaccinated, means that you should have taken both the doses of the COVID, and it should be you take out a printout of your vaccination, that most of the at the airports you have to show that. Then earlier the arrival card, especially I am telling you about the Singapore, you had to fill an arrival card giving some of the details, the very common details, when you are coming, how long you are stay, from where you are coming. Normally there was a paper card which you were required to fill in the flight and then hand it over to your immigration officer in Singapore. And just to avoid the delays and the long queues at the immigration, now it has become online, which you need to fill anytime. You can fill up to 72 hours before flying from India. So that has become very easy. It's very simple. Just 4-5 information you have to give in the arrival card. Reaching here, you will be really surprised. Now, suppose you have reached here, that the immigration is very fast because of these digital processes. Even you may not have to go to the immigration counter, or you may to show your passport. Otherwise, it is all very digital, and you have to simply scan your passport and get in if there are no issues. Once you are in Singapore, you have to decide 2 or 3 things prior from India before flying, that you must have a place of stay. Either here and willing that you can stay at his or her place, that's fine. You should have a letter from the person that you will be staying there, just a simple letter online. You can email and have a printout of it, or you must have a hotel booking where you will straight away go from there. And for the hotel booking, you can all check in. And about the hotel costs, again it is about starting from very minimum. I tell you, you may get a hotel for $50, and then of course there is no limit. But you can get a very nice place of accommodation, again depending upon the season, touring season, and weekends or the weekdays, you may get a lot of offers. So if you want to spend a bit more money, you can get a very decent hotel to stay for about $100 for couple. So as you all know, the Singapore dollar is at present is about 60 plus rupees. So whenever you need to calculate, you simply multiply by 60, that how much money you are spending in rupees. That's the basic things which you need to know. Now I come to the description about the things which you need to plan, to think, and you do a lot of homework in India before coming to Singapore, depending upon your interest, what you want to see, because Singapore has everything for the world, depending upon your taste. You want to see the nature, so there are a lot of gardens, lot of places where you're rarely seen anywhere else. Rivers, oceans, beaches. You can chalk out your plan to where to go. If you are coming on your own and you are not having a planned tour through a tour operator who will take you to the defined places, the nice looking places, within 3 to 5 days, you will sit into his coach and he will take you to the many places. And in that places, sometimes you may not like some because it is in their program that where they will take you. So there is lot to see. If you want to see the nature, if you want to go to the historical places, there are a lot of monuments, lot of places, markets, malls. The most modern malls are in Singapore from the world. You can simply get lost into those malls and to the shopping. Of course, no dearth of spending money. Any amount of money you can spend in a day. Food for of course, everything is, as I told you before, that it's one of the most, it is the most costliest country. So When you come here, don't everything don't calculate by 60 when you pay. But I'm giving you an idea of the things here, and then you can plan what to eat and how to go where. Well, if you want to eat a chola bhatura, you can get it about for maybe around 300 rupees a plate. Similarly with dosa, similarly with the chicken curry, you can get for about 600 rupees a plate. Chapatis and rotis maybe around 60 to 100 rupees. So considering the costly nature of Singapore, that's not too much. You can easily eat your food in about I would say maybe around 3,000 rupees per day. The hotel stay, maybe if you are living at a good place, maybe 7 to 8,000 rupees per day. And now I come to the transport. If you are coming on your own and you are not going through a tour operator, the public transport in Singapore is the best. And in just a few hours on the very first day, you will be very well acclimatized. You will get into the system of the public transport, the underground, the MRT, I mean the metros, as it is called in India, the buses. Connections are so beautiful, and you will love to travel in MRTs. And if you wish, you can hire the taxis also, not very, very costly. Roughly, I give you an idea. Then in the malls, about if you want to purchase your own breakfast or your fruits, then of course they are, well, of course, a banana costs rupees 50, an amrood, a guava costs 50 per piece, but that's fine. You will enjoy it, definitely. So you can from the malls, from the stores, you can buy your own food and take it with you, carry on with you, no problems. And the best thing is that the transport is very cheap. The whole Singapore you can see in about, I would say, 1,000 rupees, $10 to $15 if you are taking public transport. So depending upon how long you want to come, it is a place, I would say, that if there may be people who are watching this video and may have not gone outside India, then it is the best place in the world to see. See the culture, see how the people live, how it is disciplined, how the values of the people, of the tourists, how much you will be honored or you will be respected on the roads, on the malls. And the weather, fantastic, 28 degrees round the year, because it is on the equator, and it's all drizzling, raining, cloudy, so sometimes it gets a bit sticky, but everything is air conditions as long as you are on the road, and if the sun is out, as it is just now. So sometimes you may feel sweaty, so you just move into a mall, into a public transport, into a bus, into a metro, so that's not an issue. So finally, I would love to see most of the people coming to Singapore, enjoy the place for 5 days, for 7 days, or if you wish for the 10 days. I would say that if you want to thoroughly see Singapore and enjoy and learn that how the life should be, I would say to make a plan in between 7 to 10 days. If you can afford up to 15 days, that would be much better, and then you will not miss anything. So see you, some of my friends in Singapore in the coming days, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Share it with your friends as well. Thank you.